Hello everyone, welcome back. We are back to business with your awaited talk show, The Real Life Talks by Nabil Yawakam. I'm your co-host Kinmuka, and today I am accompanied by a new voice.
Hello, dear audience. I'm Sachini. Hey, Kitnuka. I was going to ask you. I heard you speaking in a totally different language before. What was that? I'm sure our audience would like to hear it.
That actually I found this special mantra on the internet. It said that if I keep repeating these mantras while engaged in a task, also it will make you more energized so that I will be successful in anything I do.
Well. Have you seen any results yet?
Sadly, no. But it's good to keep trying.
Don't worry. Today's episode will be just the right answer for you, Kitnuka. Because today we have with us a phenomenal personality who can give you the real mantras for success, which are tried and true. He has reached the pinnacle of his career by becoming a CEO of a well reputed medical company.
That's wonderful. I guess that would bring a kickstart to our program as this talk show tries to keep it real for our audience by bringing to them real life talks. Sashini, I'm very excited for this episode.
So am I, Kitnagar. It is not only going to benefit cavaliers, but also anyone from any walk of life. Kitnagar, will you do the honors of introducing our guest? It is time for real talk.
Yes, let's not waste another minute. Let me introduce to you our exceptional guest today. He is a CEO for the last 10 years and currently working at Sunshine Healthcare Lanka Limited, which is a leading healthcare organization. He has more than 30 years of experience in healthcare industry, working for Hemas and GlaxoSmithKline. He is currently a doctoral candidate possessing an MBA, carrying chartered marketer and practicing marketer titles.
His credit. He is a fellow of Chartered Institute of Marketing, a fellow of the Sri Lanka Institute of Marketing, and fellow of the Institute of Management of Sri Lanka. During his leisure time, he focuses on teaching MBA students, developing people, and creating business models. We warmly welcome Sir Toastmaster Thiru Sayandan to our podcast. Welcome, sir.
Thank you and pleasure being with you all.
It's indeed having you with us today for the session is a very valuable thing, and it's going to be exciting for our audience as well.
It is indeed a privilege to have a high achiever like you, sir, because today in our show, the audience will get to know about our guest, Sir Toastmaster Sayandan's new book, Seven Mantras for Success. Kitnakar, then shall we escape this struggle to be successful by hearing out from Sir Toastmaster Sayandan?
I think anyone would say yes to that question, Sachin, because at least at one time of our life, we all have struggled. Sachin, this actually brings me to the first question that I want to ask from Toastmaster Sand. Sir, what actually is success according to your definition?
Okay, if I answer the question, what exactly is success for a person is what a person want to achieve in life. Different people may have different intentions. For example, one would want to become an entrepreneur, another person want to become a chairman or a managing director, another person want to become an artist, another person want to become a musician. So there may be multiple objectives and there is no fixed definition, this is what a person should be. So when one decide this is what I want to achieve in his or her life, I always say there are three questions that one need to ask. Where am I now? Where do I want to go? And then you answer the question, how do I get there? So moment you know, where am I now? Where do you want to go? And once you know how to get there, once you arrive at the end journey, where you want to get, you have achieved success in your life. So it could be anything. So one could have a dream of becoming a yogi. So currently I'm not a yogi. So once you achieve and once you have achieved that, yes, that's successful. This is my simple version of definition for the question that you ask.
Thank you, sir. Wow, that is truly an definition. I think this is getting our listeners rethink their definitions of success, isn't it, Sachini?
Yes, Kidmika, yes. The beginning of the talk show itself is an eye opener, I guess. So, when I was looking into the details about your book, Seven Mantras for Success, it got me curious as to how you figured out these mantras and what actually inspired you to compile them into a book.
To answer that question, actually, I started my working career pretty early because my father, I think that's where the leadership thoughts got embedded in me. He always said, after 20 years, when I passed 20 years, either you should be studying for the higher degree or you should be working. And then in 1989, where I did my A-level, or in 1990s, I got through my A levels, but not adequate enough to enter the state university to become. Then it was either you become a doctor or an engineer. So though I got through the A levels in the national stream, it was not good, adequate enough to enter the university. So I started working. So at the age of 19 years, I started working. And thankfully for me, I had a dream, I had a vision, what I want to achieve by 40 years. So ever since that day, I started working on that. And thankfully for me, I became a CEO at the age of 40 years. Then often when people call me to address like what you're doing now, I used to share stories. How I, from a medical representative, how I became a CEO. Then I found there was a pattern. The stories that came had similar stories. And then I slowly started putting those stories into titles, which eventually became the seven mantras, which are the factors which actually helped me. Then again, coming from my father, I noted my father wanted to write his book, which he never wrote. And sadly, 2 years ago, he passed away at the age of 82. Keeping that in mind, I thought, hey, I'm not going to let this thought run away from my life. So when I celebrated my 50th birthday last December, I thought I'm going to launch this book. So it was last year, March, I got the thought I'm going to write. And believe me, December 14th too, I was doing my draft and corrections. But on the 25th of December, books were ready. I launched it on my 50th birthday and the book is ready. So it's all about the story of what are the factors which help me. So initially I thought I'm going to write my autobiography. But later I thought if I write about my life story, how it could help someone else. I mean, even a book, I thought let it help someone. So I slightly tweaked my personal story in anybody reading the book, how that can help someone else's life. So hence I shifted the focus more on my career journey, how it helped me, and the mantras it helped. And for me, those seven mantras can help anyone in any life who want to achieve the success in their life. So that's how it all started and how it became a reality.
I'm very glad we brought that question up, Sajini. I mean, such, I would say, a very, very thoughtful thing that's laid out. And having a milestone, such a life milestone celebrated with the uniqueness is a wonderful thing that we can. If we can also try, that will be very wonderful, sir. With that, I would like to ask, as it is going to be very truly inspiring, sir, could you explain to us each of these mantras and how they will help an individual to be successful in what they do?
Sure. So just to first to begin with, this is the book I wrote, and this is the book which is reality, and it's available as well. So here I have put into different chapters my mantras. So begin with number one mantra is having a vision. So here what I've explained is countries have vision, organizations have vision, Toastmaster clubs have vision. Why not an individual have a vision? So often when youngsters come for interviews in their early 20s or after their degree, I ask them, what would you like to become? So sometimes they struggle. Sometimes I rephrase the question, when you retire, what would you like to retire as? Still, most of them don't have an answer. So I say, figure it out, have that vision now itself, and each day you wake up for that vision. So my number one mantra is for all the youngsters, all the people who are in the Glamour Club, have a vision, have a purpose, have a dream. Hey, this is what I'm going to be. Here and there you can change it, but have a purpose. One. Two, once you have a vision or a dream, be passionate about it. Sometimes I see people live someone else's passion. Your parents are doctors, you're forced to become a doctor. Your parents are musician, the son is forced to become a musician. Your elder brother and sister are engineers, you're forced to become an engineer. Why not? Hey, each person is an individual, each person is unique, and each person may love what they do. So you do what you like. And only when you like things, what you do, you enjoy and you are stress-free. Because you're not doing it for a purpose or someone else's. You're doing willingly and likingly, and you are enjoying life. And there's no cost to enjoyment. So each day you wake up for that. So I always say be passionate about what you're doing. So that's my number 2 mantra. Number 3, when you have such a goal or a vision, there are a lot of things you need to do. Each day you wake up, 20 things to do or 30 things to do. But you and I, we have 24 hours. We don't have time to do everything. So you need to do planning because the clock keeps ticking and you need to control the time. If not, the time will control you. So to control the time, you need to plan, hey, out of these 20 things, these are my priorities. These are the things I'm going to do, plan and prioritize. Because out of the 20, you will end up doing 5, 15 keep pending. So you need to forget them. Hey, to achieve my vision, these are the things I need to do. These are the things which are not necessary. So whatever nice to do, push it aside. Plan it out what you're going to do daily because the clock keeps ticking pretty fast because people will be blowing the birthday candle each year and they all of a sudden found, hey, I have aged now, my life is ready to go and you're not achieved anything. So the days are for sure going to go. You need to control the time. So planning is my number 3 mantra. Number 4, change is inevitable. Good example, COVID came and still people were suffering how to adjust to the virus and still some people couldn't figure out how to do. Today, the 200 rupee dollar has become 300 rupee plus. We are in an economic turmoil, whether like it or not. Hey, today you can hold placards and protest, but we need to figure out and move on. How long you're going to cry? We need to figure out a way and move forward. Cost of living has gone up. So change and adapt is inevitable. COVID is a big change. Current economic crisis is another change which will be imposed upon you, me, and I feel this is one of the biggest change we are going to await. So how we are going to adapt, how we are going to change, it could be any change. Some may choose an option of migrating. Hey, that's a change. So person who can't adapt to a different one who is migrating to Canada, and if that person can't change to that climate, is going to suffer the winter. Hey, we are a tropical nation at 27 degrees and they are minus 40. If you can't change, it's going to be a problem. One who wants to go to Melbourne, it's a different culture, different systems. So same way there will be change even within here. I see people who say, hey, I'm going to go, and they say, hey, I can't live without you, my parents. And when you grow big, there are so many changes. So change and adapt is an important element. And once you have a vision, when you go towards this, definitely you will undergo changes. So you need to embrace that change and adapt to that. If you start resisting to change, that's where the stress builds in and you're not going to be happy. So we need to change and adapt and embrace changes. My number 4 mantra. The 5th mantra is making sacrifices. When you have a vision, again, I told you have so many things to do and there's always an opportunity cost. If I want to study, my opportunity cost is the time being with my friends. If I want to do something, I might have to sacrifice, go for classes versus going to cinema, going to a party. Both options are there for you and me in the evening. But you got to make a call. You got to sacrifice something to achieve something for a long-term betterment and a long-term happiness. So you got to make those early sacrifices, which are going to be fruitful later on. So now my number 5 mantra is making sacrifice. My number 6 mantra is taking risk. Especially at the time of change, people are afraid to change risk. Hey, if I do that, what will happen? If I start a business, is it going to crash? If there are no dollars, how am I going to start this business? There's no raw material. So take risk. One of the way to take risk is, I always say, take calculated risk. Calculated risk means have clarity in what you're doing. When you have the clarity, that's not a risk anymore. You know what you're going to do, and you know, and higher the risk, higher the return. So if you want to be successful and if you want to move on, you got to, like those cricketer, sometimes take the ball out of the boundary line. You got to take and hammer those sixes. And once you know the art of it, you will be scoring sixes confidently. So you got to take those chances and start taking those risks, which is my number 6 mantra. And my final mantra is integrity. Integrity is all about, for me, is what you do when no one is watching. Sometimes in front of our parents, we are good boys and girls. We are trying to be nice, but we are someone else when they go off. In front of our teachers, we do things nice and do what they want. And when they go off, we are a different person. When you come to work in front of our bosses, we are a good person trying to pretend to work. When they go off, we are someone else. Come on. We can cheat our teachers. We can cheat our parents. We can cheat our bosses. But you cannot cheat yourself. So you need to be true to yourself. And please, for God's sake, be true to the vision that you have written and told yourself. So be true to yourself. Be committed to that vision. So integrity is my number 7 mantra. Move along that if you want to achieve success. So these are my 7 mantras. And I have many, many stories. I can talk for a day. But in the interest of time, I will limit to this, explaining these 7 mantras.
Wow, sir. I'm sure that it felt like you were talking directly to each and every one of us in this audience, including ourselves. We are learning so much from this talk show today, and I highly recommend that our audience pay close attention to the details shared here. They will be vital to create your success story. Kitnagar, we should not forget that our guest is not only a big success in his career, but also a big success as a Toastmaster. Our guest here is a distinguished Toastmaster, which is the highest level of educational achievement in Toastmasters. I believe it would be wrong if we do not talk about his success as a Toastmaster. So, sir, how would you relate these mantras to the success of a public speaker?
Okay, I just want to clarify. Are you referring to a public speaker or a Toastmaster career of myself? So let me take to a public speaker. Is that fine?
Yes.
We can relate. Let's relate. However, it will be very great to hear.
Sure. So I'll take a hypothetical and relate to a thing. And if you want, I can relate some of my example as well. Suppose if it's a public speaker, again, talking of the number 1 mantra of vision, he need to have, why am I coming into Toastmasters or what I'm going to do? So for example, his vision may be, hey, I'm going to be the world champion of public speaking. This is exactly, I'll bring the person from our own club, from Spentley Toastmaster Club. Dhananjay Hettiarachi had that vision long time back. He had that vision, right? I want to be the world champion of public speaking. Was Dhananjay passionate about it? Yes. Why? You see, he coming in for every contest. He practiced again and again. He was very passionate. Nobody told him, hey, go and compete. Now, sometimes for competition, we have to push people. Hey, are you competing? Are you competing? We are having less members. But once you are passionate, you go and ask, hey, when is the competition? I am going to talk on that. Without your knowledge, you go behind the screen, you go front of the mirror, you practice. That is called passionate about being that. Then you plan. Hey, March, the competitions are going to come. In May, the area contest is going to come. June, the division. And let me go to the district. You plan out, when is it coming? How many places I'm going to do? How many practice sessions I'm going to do? You also plan out, hey, these are the members I'm going to get feedback. All that involves in planning, because otherwise, without your knowledge, the speech contest is today, you are writing the speech in the evening, and on your way only, you are thinking, hey, what to speak. A person who plans will write down the speech, get feedback, and be ready on that. That is planning. Then when you do this session, there'll be feedback. People will be saying, hey, these areas, we are going in for such a big dream, and if you want to be a world champion, hey, do this. You did this on this stage, it's inappropriate. Hey, this particular thing you did, it suits our local audience, but if you want to target to be a world champion, these things you need to avoid. So people will give feedback. This is where you need to change. Some people, they don't want to take feedback, and they don't want to change. And sometimes that becomes the disaster for a failure. So if you want to be successful, you need to change and adapt and take that learning. So my number 4 mantra is change and adapt. So here you take feedback and you change. Making sacrifices. Here again, you have friends, you have various things. And one reason why we are not ready is we are busy doing something else. But if your passion, if your vision is to become the world champion, you have to make sacrifice. You got to attend meeting. When others are having party, you go and practice. When others are watching a movie, you go to your room and practice. When others are having a chit chat, you do that. Or somebody will blame it on a power cut. You say, no, I will light a candle and I'm going to practice. So that is the sacrifice one may take or do if you have a strong vision. Taking risk. Here you throw yourself as a public speaker because I want to become a world champion. Every opportunity you take. So there may be risk taken, for example, unknown terrain, unknown people, unknown tasks. You test out yourself. So somebody tomorrow may say, hey, there's a big gathering. Can you come and speak? You will say, no, I don't know who it is. Take a risk. It doesn't matter. So you take a risk. You try it out. So next time you're confident. Hey, last time I spoke to 100 people. Me talking to 500 people is not an issue. So this is how you taking risk help you out. And finally, integrity. You committed to the vision. Be true to yourself. Sometimes not being prepared is not being integrity. So when no one is watching too, you are going to practice where you are being true to yourself. So I hope I related being a public speaker. If you have a vision, how you want to do. So here I spoke of a world champion. Just to take one more minute. In my case, I didn't have a vision of becoming a world champion in public speaking, but I do take part. One thing I committed myself, I'm going to become a DTN. And I really work towards it. So every time I plan my projects, and I told every year I'm going to achieve, those days it was CC. Then I said I'm going to achieve my ALB. I did achieve my ALS. I planned, I timed, and that's something I ended up getting. And I felt I was successful in that. Like that, you give yourself achievable goals, give yourself achievable vision, and then it becomes easy when you plan. So I hope I answered that question from a Toastmaster point of view.
That answer clearly actually cleared a lot of doubts. So thank you so much again. I want to ask something that will be linking with the previous question what Sachini asked. So you actually go through with your 7 mantras as well answering that question. But sir, let's take as a Toastmaster, because our audience, there will be Toastmasters, and especially the cavaliers are there out listening, or even public speakers. So as you see, what is the most difficult mantra out of these 7 mantras, or would you place all the 7 at the importance level? Is any specific one important, or would you place all the 7 as important for the wonderful answer?
Okay, fine. So to answer your question, Kitnuka, different people behave differently. No individually same as another, and different stages of life you will see people going through different changes. So my answer to that question is, for me, it may be one problem, for another it could be another, but I will go through the 7 mantras, and I would say different people may have difficulties in different. For example, some may not have a vision. So that's the basic problem. For me, that's where it started. So have a vision. For another, you may be having a vision, but he's not passionate. This is something your girlfriend wanted or a boyfriend wanted. So you are not happy about it. So don't do something else. So another person's problem is he's not passionate about it. Someone may have a vision, he's passionate, but he's not planning out because he feels the days are running out. He do 101 things, but nowhere he had moved in life where his plan is concerned. So his problem is planning. Another person's problem may be he cannot adapt to change. COVID came, I stopped my plan. Hey, we are online, can't go out, nothing stopped. Oh, now the dollar has crept up, economic crisis, nothing could be done. Some people, when changes come, they shut their doors. So how to adapt to changes become that person's problem. Another person will say, hey, I have the vision, I have the passion, I have a plan, I'm adapting to changes, but no, I can't make sacrifice. I want to play my cricket match. I want to go for my movie. I want to listen to my music. I want to be 4 hours on the social media and end up having 7 hours of screen time for a day. No sacrifice. Sorry, that is priority number 1. So that person making sacrifice becoming a problem. You may have all this. Another person will be scared to take risk. When you don't have clarity, this is something people don't want to jump into the deep pool, or people don't want to jump into the deep sea. So taking a risk become another person's problem. Another one may have everything, but he is not committed. He doesn't have the integrity for his own vision. So for me, For me, it all seven came as a bag full of things where one contributed to another. So I really don't know how it can contribute to someone else. But I feel with my experience, different people may have different issues and may, I'm not saying weak in that area, may need improvements in that area to go faster in their journey. Because here we have the day we are born and we don't know when we will die, and this is the life. And for me, this is time management. From the day you're born, the day you die, and in between is your life, and you need to achieve the purpose. So here, any of these mantras, one need to adapt and move on, and that's how it can help a person to achieve the purpose of the life. I hope I answered that question.
Wow. That was really insightful for most of us as public speakers. This conversation has been really helpful for all of us indeed. So for my next question, I would like to come to the present state of things. We are now in a post-pandemic stage where most of us are clueless about our next step. Since we are on the topic of being successful and the 7 incredible mantras to be successful, sir, what would your advice be on how to successfully recover or bounce back after the pandemic?
So if I may to answer the question here again, one of the mantras should help. It's all about change. People talk about change, and sometimes we can have people attend conferences on change, listening to 1 year, but people find difficult to change. In my book, I have mentioned, I know close relatives who need a particular chai in the dining table for them to have their meal. If the chai is not available, they'll not have their meal. I've seen people to read a newspaper, they need that particular chair, and they need to sit there to read that. So I ask, are you reading the paper or you need that chair? Are you having a meal or do you need that chair? Some people, they can't sleep in another place. They want their home bed. They go to another location. They say they find it difficult to sleep. Hey, I need to be coming back to my home. I need my own bed. Some need their own pillow. I know a friend of mine who need that particular bed sheets. There are children who need a particular doll to sleep. So these are all about changing when they get used to it. And that habit continues from the young days. You need to hug your doll and sleep. Moment that is taken away, hey, you associate your sleeping with that little doll. And moment that is taken away, hey, your sleep go for a 6. Now that habit, which is a metaphor, continues in your life as well. Your routines become your normal life. And when that is challenged, you're finding it difficult to adapt. COVID is a good example, and now we are in post-pandemic. So how do you do this? First of all, surrender to that change, especially if it's macro environment. Now here we have a pandemic change caused by a virus, which you and I cannot see with the naked eye. See the change it had imposed. Like that, there'll be 101 changes happening in your life, which you need to embrace. And especially if it's a macro environment change, it's beyond your control. So what you need to do is, one option, you resist and say you can't. Then once you say you can't, nothing will move. And when the macro environment, it doesn't change, this is where the stress come in. You are at the same level where you were yesterday. You may deteriorate in your life. There may no progress, and you may end up being sick as well. On the other, smart leaders, this is where leadership is all about. They surrender to the change, they accept change, they embrace change. Even in bad situations, they are the people who look for a silver line in the dark cloud. What is in for me? How can I overcome this? So accept the change, embrace the change, and see, hey, even during this tough time, what are my opportunities? How I can move on. Moment you have that mindset and see things positively, you're going to get adapted, and that very same thing which was negative for someone else, you're going to use it positively and you're going to move on. So when change hits you, maybe you can sit and cry for 1 day, but quickly adapt it, move on, accept it, and find how I'm going to survive. The faster you figure it out, you're going to be faster than the rest of the world. The people who learn how to manage or how to live with the virus are more successful than the people who couldn't find out. The people who came to work faster, adapted, what is a new normal, were ahead of rest of the world. So you be one of them. To do that, you need to accept change, and that is one of my mantras: change and adapt to change.
Sir, I would like to ask this question, which is a request from one of our Cavaliers as well, because majority of our audience is Cavaliers, and I know there will be Toastmasters listening to us, as well as other personalities who like to join, but like who have the fear of public speaking to get rid of it. For the most part, our one of our Cavaliers asked that he is quite not good in giving a humorous speech and evaluations as well. So from my research, I saw you are a winner in humorous contest and evaluation contest. So for a Cavalier and for a Toastmaster, how would you give them your explanation on if someone makes their vision as giving a success, I mean, making a successful personality in giving evaluations and humorous speeches, how would you guide them to their vision? Because all your seven mantras are around this. So it would be really informative for them to get educated from you, sir.
Sure. So talking about speeches, initially I just want to do it at club level speeches and club level projects, and my evaluation at the club level, but didn't go to the extent of going into competition. And the only competition I took part was the prepared speech competition. But then, when the competition come and when people want more participants, the VP education or the contest chair, they keep you to push and say, hey, why not participate? Because we need numbers and we not. So something I always learned was when an opportunity is given, why not take it up? So it's not the intention of winning, but it's about participating. So even if I don't get a place, by taking part, there are 101 learnings. There are a lot of learnings which I do. And that's how I said a yes for evaluation contest. And I said yes for a humorous. I didn't know that I had a skill whether I can deliver a humorous speech. So here I am, the day came and I had to plan out myself what I need to deliver. So I thought I'm going to give my own stories. And here I have a speech on do it your own way. And it's all about how different things happen during my marriage and after marriage when I had the kids at the age of 22 or 23, how things happen. For example, in the marriage story, I started relating my own stories where I go to the person who was dressing my wife and said, hey, don't have too much of makeup on her because I will not recognize her and I don't want to go on a honeymoon of a person whom I don't know. So that created laughter. And these were true stories. So that actually, without my knowledge, I was surprised to say I won. So you will figure out these things only if you take part. So it's all about when opportunities come to you, accept it and try it out instead of saying no, instead of resisting, take it up. And without your knowledge, your strength may show out. I'm not saying I'm the best humorous speaker because, to be honest, I have taken part at club level, area level, and division level. Beyond that, I have not progressed. But coming up to that level, I'm very happy and content. I'm happy I took part. I'm happy I went. I even improved at the different levels, and going up to division level was a success factor. Same with evaluations. When they said, give it out, give it your try. And it's all about giving feedback, how to use that format. So you learn, you master your skills only by trying. And when you do the same thing again and again and again, this is where you become competency. For me, competency is all about your skills, whether you have those basic skills, but adding to that skill is about the knowledge. So the more you do, the more you hear, the more you participate, your knowledge keep increasing. And then comes the most important element of experience. Experience comes with you taking part again and again and again. The more you take part, more experience. So skills, knowledge, experience, in my words, give you the competency. And when you do, your competency increase. And then, hey, you're labeled, hey, you're a good evaluator. You're a humorous speaker. You are a good prepared speaker, or you're a good table topic speaker. So all this come with accepting and getting involved, participating, taking part, and taking challenges. So that's how it helped me. And sometimes you figure out your skills which you never thought you are a skill. So tomorrow, if somebody asks you Kitnaka and give you a mic, don't say, hey, I don't know to sing. You just take and start singing, and people will say, hey, that was super. And then only you figure out Kitnaka, hey, not only I'm a speaker, I'm a good singer. So this is how things happen in your life. And who knows, you may become the world-class announcer or a company in the world. Just imagine what can happen if you are the best company in the world. This is how you identify your strength. So try out various things. So I hope I answered your question, Kitna.
Yes, sir, it is. So that was very insightful. Sachin, shall we try out, what we think, our vision and the passion? Let's try out, is it? Shall we?
Definitely. And the fact that we need to take up opportunities is something that we need to hear constantly, because taking up facing challenges have always been a struggle for most of us. I think that's what hinders our skills as a public speaker. Thank you so much, sir, for that. So you have held the presidency in your Toastmasters Club and also the presidency of many other organizations. Could you tell us about your journey towards these presidencies and how you work to be a successful president? And how did those positions help you to be successful in other parts of your life?
Okay. So going back to 2011, where I was the president of Spedley Toastmaster Club, I still remember the previous president walked in and one day said, Sayandan, the club is pretty confident. We want you to take the leadership position. And at that time, I was a country manager trying to achieve results in my organization, and achieving targets was a big responsibility. Believe me, my wife was pregnant with the third baby. So that particular year, now the Toastmaster year starts in July, and my wife's date were given in late June. So I'm going to have a newborn baby. Adding to that, that year my eldest son was doing his O-level exam. So in a normal circumstances, somebody would have said, no, hey, my son is doing O-levels, I need to help him out, I can't. I have my work, I'm a country manager, I have this target, and that's challenging, I can't. My wife is delivering a baby, sorry, after delivery when the child settles down, can I? So the people who have been successful are people who never use the word busy, or are people who never say, I don't have the time. I said, yes. I told my wife, I'm going to take this. Meantime, that doesn't mean I'm going to neglect my responsibility as a father, as a husband. I did that and I accepted this. But the journey went on well. During that year, I was very happy. Out of the 24 meetings which happened for a year, I attended all 24 meetings. And for me, it was a successful year, simply because I took it on. Now comes the best part. Now, becoming a president of a club like Smedley helped me to identify some of the leadership skills. If I fast forward myself, or trying to even rewind and connect some of the things, when the vice president position was given for the MBA association, after my MBA, I took that up. I was a vice president of the MBA association of University of Peradeniya. Example. Institute of Management, I was a vice president, again a leadership position and industry recognition. One of the important questions was when we created the Chamber of Medical Devices. When you say a chamber, means multiple organizations forming a chamber together in the industry. And that's a big position where you have to lobby on behalf, not only your company, on behalf of the industry with your stakeholders, be it the ministry, be it the regulator, be it your customers. So on behalf of them, so I was given the opportunity to become the president of the Sri Lanka Chamber of Medical Devices industry. I took it up. So by that, now see that experience of becoming a president, you doing run successfully, give you confidence. You practice that in your workplace, which give industry recognition. You take leadership in your community, in your society, which give personal recognition. And this is how you master your skills of your leadership. So when things are given to you, you have a choice. Either say you're busy, you don't have time, or you can't take it up, or take it on a platter, say, thank you, I'll take it, I'll do my best. Even if you make mistake, I take it as a learning, take it as an area for improvement, and you have gone one step. If you are here, by taking this opportunity, you have come here. By taking it here, it helps you to go here. This is how people keep progressing. So when an opportunity is given, when a leadership role is given, accept it, say thank you, do your best, manage your time. Managing time is all about planning, as I mentioned. You will grow, and it helps you to grow And all this learning helps you to live a better life, for you to become a better leader.
Thank you so much, sir. That was really wonderful and it was really helpful. So, this has been a wonderful session, and I cannot begin to express how much this has helped me. And I'm pretty sure our audience is really glad that they were with us today. With all those wonderful thoughts being shared, we are nearing the end of this episode.
So, with that, this is the summary.
Sir, what would be the final words or thoughts that you would like to leave with us? And sir, I would really appreciate if you can also mention where we can access your new book in PDF form and also in the hard copy. That would be really helpful. Yes, sir.
Okay, I'll answer the first question or the last question first. So as I mentioned, this is the book. It's available. The printed version is available with Sarasavi Bookshop. All the outlets are available. It's available with Vijitayapa. It's also available at MD Gunasena. And anybody wanting, you can share my number, reach out through Facebook, reach out through LinkedIn. If anybody reach out to me, it's 2,900 in the bookshops. But if anybody of your Gavel Club reaching out, I will give it at 1,500, and that will come to your doorstep on a courier. So I'm giving to all the Gaveliers, all the Toastmasters listening in, at half the price. 1,500, it will come to your home. So reach out on personally. Don't spend extra in a time of recession. So that's the discount or the good news I want to give you now. Pick it up from the bookstore at 2,900, or reach out directly. It'll come to you directly at 1,500. So that's the good news. Moving on to your question, my message, which I would like to leave you behind, assuming most of you all are youngsters or somebody who want to achieve something in life, I would like to repeat. Countries have vision. Organization have vision. Institution have vision. Why not you have vision? So personally have a vision. This is what I want to achieve. And if you see organizational vision like John Keel's or my organization that I work for, Sunshine Healthcare, or any organization, they have vision which are quite ambitious, which are motivating and set a direction on long term. So when you have a vision, have a long-term vision for yourself. I call it the BHAG. BHAG means big, hairy, audacious goals. Dream something big so that you aim at the stars, you go above the sky. So have this vision, and some of the mantras which I described are definitely going to help you. So you're going to be successful. And only when you're committed and when you have a plan and when you go on that journey, you're going to be above the rest of the world, because I'll tell you why. 85 to 90% of the world settles at the average level. When you give the extra mile, when you put in the effort of your passion, the extra hours, when you master your talent, once you identify your strength, I mentioned Kitruka, you can be the best compeer, you can be a singer. Once you identify your strength, you practice and master it, then you become a star in that area. When you become a star, that's the time you're going to stay above average. And once you identify your strength, you become a star in that area, then you become a talent in that area. You need not chase money. Money will automatically follow. So this is where I said, when you passionately live your vision, your income will automatically generate. And it's not for the income that you're going to work. You're going to live your passion, something you enjoy. You're going to work for that day, or that's why you wake up for. So jokingly, I tell my friends, don't keep the alarm and wake up if you don't have a vision. So each day your vision, wake up for that. And if you have a strong vision, then tomorrow you will decide, hey, I'm not going to wake up at 6 o'clock. My vision I need to achieve faster. I'm going to wake up 5 o'clock. That 1 hour give you 365 hours extra. And now divide that 365 hours extra which you gain, divide that by 24 and see how many days that you have got extra by waking 1 hour early. And in your life, see how many years you have got extra. That's how a strong vision can lead. So all I can leave is have a purpose, have a vision, you live it so that you enjoy your life. My last thought would be live, learn, love, and finally when we depart, it could be departing from school, departing from a club, departing from the organization, departing from this world. Leave a legacy so the rest of the world stays happy and they remember you. So be one of those, and let me wish you all the very best to all who are listening to leave a legacy so that rest of the world will remember you for a lifetime.
Wow, what a wonderful session indeed. I'm sure our audience was glad to be a part of this episode. There was so much for us to take in. We heard it from someone who talked through experience, which made every detail, every information much more reliable. Thank you so much, Sir Toastmaster Sandan, for giving us your valuable time and for sharing such valuable secrets with us.
Yes. Thank you very much, sir, for your valuable contribution to our talk show.
Thank you, and I enjoyed it and hope you enjoyed it as well.
Yes, it was. We enjoyed. I know the whole audience gonna enjoy it even more than that because they are taking more and more valuable information with them, which will definitely be a good weapon to them.
Thank you very much for your valuable contributions, sir, to our talk show. With that being said, I want our audience to look forward to more important and real life talks in the near future as well.
Yes, we will see you all with another inspiring character. Till then, don't forget to use the 7 vital mantras you learned today.
So then, stay tuned for the next episode. We will catch you soon.